Welcome to another Business Spotlight, where we share pearls of wisdom, reflections, suggestions, and ideas from local business owners. My name is Kerry James. I am a business coach and facilitator. And on this morning's Business Spotlight, I'm delighted to welcome Mr. James Kirkwood, founder and director of Pure Property Partnership. Good morning to you, James, and welcome to Business Spotlight.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So, I'm guessing it's something to do with property from the title, James, but please give us a little bit more detail than that. How long have you been in business, please, and what do you specialize in?
Yeah, so we launched the business in March last year, so getting up to the 12-month mark. And we're a service-led business, basically. So we help um, busy professionals and business owners start and scale their property portfolios. So we kind of work with people who have surplus cash, either sat sort of personally or in their business, and they want to get that working harder for them, but don't necessarily kind of have the time or the expertise or the knowledge to, you know, start their property portfolios or really expand on their maybe existing properties. So we provide a full end-to-end service where we go out and source the property, do all the due diligence, negotiate with estate agents or direct to vendors, and then handle all the legal process and any refurb work that might be needed as well. So it's a full kind of end-to-end hands-off service, as you like, for people who, like I say, don't have the time or expertise.
Okay, so let's just explore that a little bit. We all know about Zoopla and your right moves and the rest of them. So it's pretty easy to find lots and lots of properties. How do you kind of position yourself or compare yourself with people kind of doing it themselves, at least in terms of finding the properties?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's easy to go on Rightmove and maybe find a property. It's a little bit more difficult to make the numbers work. And so our kind of one of our key sort of USPs and selling aspects is that we are able to find motivated vendors and get discounts on properties basically that one you wouldn't be able to get if you were just kind of scrolling through Rightmove. And two, we invest in a lot of software that kind of gives us access to these motivated vendors. It allows us to get. We also have a network of estate agents and people in the industry that actually allows us to get properties before they hit the open market as well.
Interesting.
So
So tell us a little bit more about how you find motivated vendors, unless you're beginning to give trade secrets away, James.
I mean, well, for starters, our key business is relationships with estate agents. So a lot of the time, as I say, there'll be properties that kind of are being sold but aren't being sold on Rightmove or your Zoopla. So that's kind of one way to, and then others is just building relationships with estate agents, and they'll tell us, oh, listen, this um this vendor might have had a sale fall through, or there might be certain circumstances where they just need a quick sale, and we're there with a kind of an investor that is ready to go. He's either got the cash or he's got his lending sorted out, and often the ability to act quickly enables you to negotiate, a pretty um, good price on these properties. So yeah, that's kind of one of our strategies really.
Okay.
Um,
And what was your background then, James? You said it's relatively recent that you started the business. What was your background and what triggered the launch of the business?
yeah, so my background was originally advertising and marketing. So I was an account handler for a few of the big advertising agencies, but always had an interest in property. My family have always had a property portfolio sort of over the last 20, 30 years. So always had keen interest. And then a couple of years ago, invested in some education, which really kind of kick-started the journey. And yeah, as I say, so that was a couple of years ago, and then just really kind of immersed myself over the last few years in the industry. And yeah, as of last March, we set up the business to basically we've had we kind of had our portfolio for a while, and we thought, you know, we're doing it for ourselves. We may as well help other people do it too. So
Okay.
we're investors ourselves. We have, we're actively we're in the market looking for our own portfolio. So we might as well, you know, help investors do the same thing.
Okay, so what about all the kind of ongoing environmental changes with mortgage rates, inflation, hybrid working, maybe certain types of buildings becoming a lot less popular than they were, maybe, I don't know, pubs closing down, etc. How are all of those environmental factors? What are the impact on the business, or the biggest impact from that variety of the
Y-
changes that we're going through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the last 12 months or so, 12, 18 months, it's been a little bit of a turbulent time for the property industry in terms of interest rates, I guess, being the big one, the big high 12 months or so ago, has caused, some people to be a bit wary of the market. And there are big kind of in the media, a lot of negativity around investing in property and that house prices are going to fall by, they're predicting 10% and all this kind of stuff. I mean, figures show that it's, you know, house prices have maybe dropped, a percent or two in the last 12 months. It's not, the UK property market is so robust that, it would be very difficult, that's just wasn't going to happen. Um, but yeah, in terms of inflation, I mean, inflation kind of helps in the property industry because, it pushes demand, it pushes rents up, and it pushes, the price of the property up. So, um, yes, it's been a little bit trickier with interest rates because it's harder to make the numbers work when you're borrowing at, say, 4, 5, 6%, as opposed to, we're all kind of spoilt with interest rates over the last sort of 15 years. But um, really, this, interest rates at kind of 4, 5% is not, it was only in the sort of mid 2000s that interest rates were were higher than that. So we've just kind of been spoilt in recent times.
Mm.
Um, I guess we'd probably say that it makes using a service like ours even more important because it would be harder to make the numbers work if you were just doing it, kind of part time and not using a professional business to do it.
Hmm.
Um, trying to think what's that. In terms of yeah, certain buildings, and obviously there's been a lot of the issues post Grenfell actually made a lot of particularly high rise apartment blocks and things like that very, either not mortgageable or just, certain management charges going through the roof. So we tend to stay away from big high rise apartment blocks, even sort of the newer apartments that maybe have, obviously have addressed all cladding issues. The management charges will probably still over the years hike up and up and up, and that kind of just eats away at your profits. So we generally would look at houses over apartments, and certainly the higher, large story ones. So
Hmm. Okay.
yeah.
And what about other challenges to the business, whether it's, I don't know, finding the right clients, or what would be the main challenges to the business today, based on where you are now and where you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I guess the main challenges are that maybe a little bit of the uncertainty around the property market or certain um, perception of uncertainty. So people, we do speak to a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm just gonna kind of wait for interest rates to come down a little bit," and they are already starting to come down, and they probably over the course of Q2, Q3, Q4, they probably will come down. But I don't think they're not, most experts are sort of predicting that they're not going to come down, significant amounts in terms of, anywhere near back to the levels that they were 2 years ago. So I think that's been a little bit of a challenge. It's just convincing people that, you know, it's a bit of a cliche in property, but timing the market will always be timing the market. And property is always long term. It's not get rich quick. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, but it's just, in our opinion, the safest set class to kind of invest your money in and build long-term wealth. It's for us, it's got hundreds of years of data to look back on, analyze, and and look at. And it's there aren't many other asset classes where you can invest in something. It's got hundreds of years of data of where it's going to increase in value, and then it pays you um, as you do it. So
You're not a fan
um,
of crypto investment then, by the sound of it, James.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough about it. I would not. It would be, you know,
Invest in what
I'd
you
be
know.
gambling. I'd be
Invest
gambling
in
with
what you know.
crypto.
Absolutely.
So, well,
Okay.
exactly. I know I can. I've got the knowledge in property, whereas crypto or kind of anything else is generally a lot more volatile. So,
Okay. What about
hats off to anyone who can make money doing that.
well, yeah, first step is educate yourself and then be in a better position to judge the risks, right? What about aspirations for the business then, James? Where do you see the business in 5 years' time, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, aspirations into obviously, like I said, we're not even 12 months into the business yet, so we're just trying to establish ourselves. We would like to be known as kind of one of the key players in that. We operate just in Manchester and the Northwest, really. Probably should have said that at the start, but yeah, so we operate solely in Manchester and the Northwest because that's the areas that we know. So, we'd just like to be recognised as experts in our field within the area. Um, the ideal scenario would be in 5 years' time to have, a couple of employees working for me so that we can real kind of expand and scale the business.
Okay.
But just have a steady stream of investors, and obviously be able to help them. A lot of people that we speak to want to, particularly maybe later on in their careers in the sort of, mid 50s, they want to, you know, build a property portfolio and say, I almost want to roadmap out the next 5 years so that I can, retire in, at say 60 and enjoy my retirement and live off the income that we can kind of generate. So yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of
And what about the main areas of learning? Clearly, your background in the advertising space, I'm sure has been useful and relevant, and the property knowledge you brought, but neither of those necessarily prepare you for building, growing, and leading a business. So, what have been the key lessons so far, would you say, James?
yeah, I mean, absolutely right. Yeah, so I did a lot of project management early on in my career, which has really helped because that's a lot of what my job is. I'm used to managing clients, used to managing projects, so I'm still managing clients and I'm still managing projects. So there's a lot of crossover in that sense. So that's been really helpful. In terms of learnings, yeah, it's obviously it is a change in the sense of, I was used to being, part of a team and a big process, and you're kind of like one aspect of it. Whereas, when you're trying to establish a business and trying to run a business, you're, you know, everything, your HR, sales, marketing, accountant, kind of you got to wear quite a few different hats. So yeah, it's just I think the key is to it can be quite easy to get bogged down with everything and feel like you get on top of you. So I think organization is key. And then also just reputation, to be honest. I think that's, kind of what we try and do business the right way, try and, our business is relationships. It's relationships with investors, it's relationships with estate agents, with trades, with other investors in the industry, so it's just making sure that, you keep, you do business the right way and you build your reputation in that sense.
And the basic model is a percentage of the value of the property. Is that, or have you got alternative kind of sources of
Yeah, I mean,
income?
so we roughly work on between 3 to 4% of the purchase price of the property. So it's kind of roughly between 5 and 10,000 is would be the fee that we charge per property. And kind of we'd be confident that that's we're saving you far more than that in the deal that we normally would get our clients anyway. And then there are certain deals that we do, and if people commit to a number of purchases, or we're buying portfolios for them. So yeah, that can be a little bit fluid, but yeah, roughly that's how we work.
And what about if people are building portfolios and obviously they're not living in all of the properties, so they're obviously renting them out or doing something with them. Do you get involved in the management side of that as well?
So we work with lettings agents, and a lot of the the estate agents that we have really good relationships with, they have letting agent departments as well. So that's kind of part of our services, that we get these deals and then we put them in the hands of the right managing agents who are going to look after the properties. We get kind of discounted rates on that for our clients, because we put obviously quite a bit of business through the agents. And yeah, I mean, often the people that we work with, like I say, they're either busy working long hours, or they're running businesses, or a lot of them as well are based further afield, maybe down south, or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be getting involved with having to go and sort a boiler out at the weekend, or whatever might be the issue. So yeah, typically that we would help. That's part of our services. We put it in the hands of trusted letting agents.
Got you. I got you. Okay. Well, James, it's been great to hear your story, and obviously all the very best with the business. One last question, if I may. If there are any maybe busy business owners who are looking to start a property portfolio watching the Business Spotlight, what might be a sensible next step for them to be
Yeah,
talking to
well,
you?
obviously, feel free to get in touch. I'm not sure if you'll send out, LinkedIn, or, our website, purepropertypartnership.com. I'm on LinkedIn, or send my email as well. And yeah, we offer free consultation call with anyone, where we can just discuss in a bit more detail your circumstances and what you're looking for. And yeah, we'd be more than happy to provide a special offer for listeners who've seen this and taken the time out of the day.
Very good. All right, James. Well, we will add that URL to the videos that go out as a result of today. And once again, thanks ever so much for your time and for your input and sharing your story, and all the very best with Pure Property Partnership.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Bye for
Thank you.
now. Cheers, James. Bye-bye.
Cheers.